Forgive me, Allah.
Sometimes conflicts happen between Muslims. Sometimes conflicts happen between family members, between siblings, between spouses. Divorces happen. Sometimes conflicts happen between Sahaba, companions of the Prophet ﷺ, in argument against each other and develop resentment towards one another. It happened. There are incidents even in the Sahaba's time. We think, they were all just one united people and there was no ill feelings ever among them. There are incidents where even the Muhajirun and the Ansar, who fought side by side, they would go into battle and they'd fight like brothers side by side, and on the way back they're standing at a well trying to drink water, and one accidentally pushes into the other and they start beating each other up. And it happened. It happened. These kinds of things happen. But even if we're not talking about the Sahaba radiallahu anhum ajma'in, the idea that ill feelings, or these kinds of feelings that get deeply penetrated inside us, that can take root, that's a natural thing. It does occur. Like, for example, I want you to appreciate, Yusuf alayhi salam's brothers, who caused so much pain to the family for so many years. And finally, when the family is reunited, they apologize for everything that they did. They apologize. Now, istighfar to Allah is different from asking another human being to forgive. When Allah forgives, and if Allah accepts your tawbah, all your past is removed. Everything is gone. But if you've been hurting me for 10 years, and then you came and said sorry, and even if I cried and I forgave you, does that mean I forgot those 10 years? No. Is the memory sometimes come back and hurt me again? Sure. Is it going to recur? And you say, no, I thought you forgave me. No, it doesn't work that way. Because human beings are not capable of forgiving other human beings in the same way that Allah can forgive. The forgiveness of human beings is something else, and the forgiveness of Allah is something else. And sometimes human beings aren't even able to forgive. As a matter of fact, their father, Yaqub, told them, سَوْفَ أَسْتَغْفِرُ لَكُمْ رَبِّي. I'm not even going to pray for you right now. I will though. But not right now. Right now I'm still in a very bad mood. So in other words, he couldn't get himself to make immediate istighfar for them. For his own sons. You find the case of Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, rahmatan lil alameen, loving mercy for all of humanity, all people. His own uncle, when he was killed in battle, and Hind did what heinous crime she did, she chewed off of his corpse. Later on, Hind became Muslim. She accepted Islam. Allah has forgiven all of her sins, but the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam couldn't face her. He couldn't see her, because what she's done is left too much of a scar. There's a ghil there, there's a feeling there that you can't just get rid of. Sometimes these feelings are like that nail that got drilled into the armor. Or you feel like you have to hold on to that grudge or that feeling or that protectiveness. You want to keep a distance from a person like that because you feel that if you let your guard down, that you'll get attacked again, that you'll be hurt again. So it becomes sort of a self-defense mechanism for you. When we don't understand these things, we come to people that have suffered years of abuse or that have been wronged in the most terrible of ways, and we just tell them, just forgive, it's okay. Well, you don't know what the depth of the problem is. And we can encourage each other to forgive, but actually only Allah Azza wa Jal knows who is capable and who is not capable. And as a matter of fact, for believers, actually this expression is identical in Surah Al-A'raf. When this was revealed, later on among the Sahaba, there were conflicts. And Ali radiallahu anhu used to make dua, Ya Allah, make me and those who have had a disagreement with, make us a part of this dua, that this ghil is removed from us. So this is a very real thing, that you're not able to get rid of that in this world. That doesn't mean that the person you have ill feelings towards, the person who's hurt you, or that grudge, or that pain that they caused you, that you're not able to forget, that every time you see them you're reminded of it and it triggers those memories, all of that stuff, all of that baggage that you're carrying inside of you, that it makes you a bad person. It doesn't mean that your heart isn't good, or if you truly were a believer that you should just forgive. Allah Azza wa Jal gave us room to have these feelings. He even gave the prophets room to have those feelings. And Allah even told us that those feelings can become very painful. They can become a heavy armor that you're always wearing around you. Because when someone's wearing armor, they're not comfortable. These are not comfortable feelings that a human being lives with. And it's very difficult to let them go. And they can start rotting away at you too. And Allah says it is on Judgment Day, وَنَزَعْنَا مَا فِي صُدُورِهِم مِّنْ غِلٍّ. We will pull away from them whatever they had going on in their chest of any kind of ghil. This is the worst case scenario. Ghil is other things too, by the way. Ghil, the discomfort of ghil And by the way, ghul comes from the same word, which means to cheat. To cheat somebody, or to take more than your share. And those two things are related because sometimes you feel these feelings towards someone because you feel they did what they shouldn't have done. They took more than their share. Or they cheated you in some way, or they deceived you in some way, or they wronged you in some way. And so those two words are related to each other. Now, this idea that Allah pulls it away is pretty powerful. Allah didn't just say when they go on Judgment Day, they're not going to have any bad feelings. He literally said, naza'na. We will pull it out. We will yank it out, pull it out. The word naza' in Arabic is used for something that was clinging on to something. Like, you know how sometimes there's meat that's clinging onto a bone and it won't come off? And it's really hard to peel it off? Or sometimes there's fungus that grows on a tree and it doesn't come off easily? That's actually naza', the idea of pulling that off, that it doesn't easily come out. Or the extraction, the slow extraction of honey is also called naza'. The idea is this is something that's inside, it's deep inside, and only Allah can remove it. You might not even be capable of removing it. Allah Himself intervenes in the ayah and says, نَزَعْنَا مَا فِي قُلُوبِهِم مِّن غِلٍّ. There are other ways of expressing this. مَا فِي قُلُوبِهِم مِّن غِلٍّ يَوْمَئِذٍ. There's not going to be any ghil on that day. Nope, He didn't say it that way. The same way, you have to appreciate that even though you may be in a position to forgive someone, and you may have forgiven, then don't beat yourself up if you've forgiven but not forgotten. Because forgiving and forgetting, they're two different things.
وأولئك